Howdy, and welcome back to the channel as it's time to do some round 1 arena cutoff results review for the Ronin and King Groot arenas, then take a look at some past results to get an idea of what might happen this time for round 2. So like I said, the first thing we want to do here is take a look at the results. And for the King Groot arenas anyway, it's pretty much as expected. Right around 25 million for the 5-star feature and 5.5 for the 4-star feature. This is what we typically see for the this type of champ that's been around. I categorize him as an old champ, been in the game for a while, been in as the feature arena champ before, so no big shocker here. This is the numbers that we typically see. If he was kind of a higher end champ, a lot of use both on the offensive and defensive side, you'd see these numbers closer to 30 million or over 30 million, but that's not the case with King Groot, hence why we're seeing this mid 20 for the 5-star feature and mid 5 millions for the 4-star feature. The surprise this time around for arenas was definitely with Ronin coming in at 1.58 million. That's kind of like what we typically see for a champ that I call low interest. That's been in the game for a while as a 4-star. Been around in the arena many times, even as a 4-star basic champ. But for the first time as a 4-star basic champ, Ronin, this is a pretty low number. Now, we did see it recently with Annihilus as well, but outside of that, most folks are at least around the mid 2 millions. But surprisingly, Ronin was lower than that. So based off of my review of these results, you can kind of guess what, comparing my predictions to the actual results, what it's going to be here. Almost got it spot on within 1% of the 5-star and 4-star feature arenas, but I was expecting, again, Ronin, since this is his first time as a 4-star basic champ, those 4-star basic numbers to be closer to that mid 2 million range, not the mid 1 million range, which is old school. So definitely missed the prediction on that one. As I always say, try to get 5 to 10%, and that was not the case with Ronin, but definitely the case with the King Groot arenas. So now that I've taken a look at those arena results for round 1, let's take a look at past arena results for similar type arenas to get an idea of what might happen this time in round 2. Starting first with the 5-star feature, you can see when we're dealing with that older champ that ended up in the round 1 and around the 2 million or 20 million to mid 20 millions. You can see typically in round 2 there's a slight bump. We saw it with Ella from 19 million to 25 million. Captain America Infinity War wasn't a great example of this just because he was on that higher end, but that just shows you even for that type of old champ there's a slight bump. And then more recently with Star-Lord, again in the 20 millions, he had a slight bump. What you don't see here with MODOK, who had a very similar number come in just to right around 25 million, he did go up to 26 million in the second round, closer to 27 million in the second round. So that's a typical kind of increase we see. Jumping over to the 4-star feature, same thing. You see a slight bump. In most cases, occasionally you'll see a decrease like Captain America Infinity War. He jumped from 6 million down, or I should say, fell down a little bit to 5.9 million again. Not a major difference between round 1 and round 2. Very marginal decrease, but still a slight decrease. But in most cases, for 4-star features, you can see here that second round is higher than the first round. And again, even though I don't have the MODOK numbers here, if you look at those MODOK results for 4-star features, same thing. Slight increase between round 1 and round 2. Now, in the case of 4-star basic, what we typically see is a decrease. Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, Human Torch, all of those went from that mid 2 million to higher 2 millions down a little bit in the second round. But Annihilus, which I said recently came around, was that last example where we had somebody more in that mid-million versus 2 million range. He actually had an increase from round 1 to round 2. So I think that's something with Ronin we should kind of keep in mind. While most 4-star basic champs who are their first time around in the 4-star basic arena, they have a lower second round, that's likely not the case here. Similar to Annihilus, who had an unexpectedly low first round cutoff. Those numbers typically jump in the second round. Now lastly, coming down to the 3-star feature arena, what we always see with a champ like King Groot, it's very similar numbers. Even though for the most cases you see a higher second round, we're not talking significantly higher. Usually a couple 10,000s higher between round 1 and round 2. So very similar numbers for the 3-star feature arena. And now, to be clear, these arena results that we're looking at are for the veterans bracket, meaning your account's been open time-wise over 60 days. Not the amount of time you play, but the number of actual days that since the account's been open. So with all that in mind, here are my thoughts for round 2 predictions for the veterans bracket for the King Groot and Ronin arenas. I think we're looking at 27 million, that slight bump between round 1 and round 2 from 25 to 27. think for the 4-star feature, we're looking at a slight jump of 5.5 to 5.8 million. Here with Ronin as well, I think we're going to see a very similar Annihilus type of round 1 to round 2, where that number is going to go to 1.9 million. And then lastly, a similar type of increase for the 3-star feature, King Groot, around 670, 675. And again, with these predictions, I always try to go within 5 to 10%. This is not an exact science game for sure, but that's generally where I try to get with my predictions. With that being the case, I always like to give grind targets too, to give yourself a little extra buffer if you really want to make sure you don't miss out on a champ. I'd go to 30 million, maybe 31 million for the 4-star, or for the 5-star feature King Groot. For the 4-star, 6.1 should work. For Ronin, I'd go to 2.2 million. Give yourself a little extra buffer since it was so low in round 1. And then I'd give yourself 700, maybe 710,000 for the 3-star feature King Groot. Now for the earlier brackets, beginner and intermediate, where there's just not a ton of past results out there to take a look at and try to figure out what's going on, I do have some anecdotal information. People from time to time in the comment section of these videos will tell me how they did. And by the way, I appreciate the folks who take the time to do that, because that's the only way I get a read on these arenas. Anyway, it looks like right now for the beginner bracket, many accounts open from day 1 to day 30. 3-star feature looking at 225,000, 4-star basic 900,000, 4-star feature 1 million, around 1 million. And all of these are very rough kind of guesstimates, if you would, just because there's not a lot of historical examples to do any kind of trend-based analysis. But anyway, with intermediate bracket, I think the 3-star feature looking at 525,000, 4-star basic, and again, this is for the intermediate bracket, so day 31 to day 60. 3-star feature again is 525, 4-star basic 1.2 million, and lastly the 4-star feature at 1.1 million. So anyway, these are my thoughts for round 2 of the King Groot and Ronin arenas. We'd love to hear your opinions, especially if they're different than mine. Throw it on down in the comment section, and we can discuss them there. If you have any questions, throw them down there as well, and I'll try to get to them sooner than later. And if you liked this video or found it informational, I'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button, as it helps out the channel and helps out the video. And if you like these type of videos and haven't yet subscribed, we'd really appreciate it if you did. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.